Have you ever just like not felt like recording? It's kind of how I feel today. Like, no part of me feels like recording at all, but I'm still here. And it's just one of those days where you have to just lean back on your habits that you've been forming this whole entire time. And you just have to know that those habits are what's gotten you here, and keep doing the same thing. Now I'm just mumbling. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but then something still feels a little off? If so, this video is for you, because today I'm going to talk about the 5 habits that not only made me feel like myself, but it also made me more productive, especially on a day like today where I just did not feel like recording at all. And, you know, in those moments, especially as a new content creator, you have to tap in to the habits that you've built up to that point. So today I'm sharing this not as a guru, but as a woman that has been through some things. I've been through burnout. I've been through boundary violations from other people. I've been through the trauma, and I've also been through the healing process. And to me, the healing process is something that is, you know, a forever thing. You're always going to be, you know, learning from things that you've experienced just through life. So if you're tired of pretending that you're fine, keep watching this video to the end, because I'm going to talk about the 5 habits that, again, didn't just make me feel more productive, but it made me feel like myself. The first habit that truly changed my life was nervous system check-ins. And I would do this daily because I got to a point where I would be in this constant state of doing. Like, I'm always doing something, always pushing myself, always want something to be better. And you know, what happens is it just drives you into the ground, and you never stop and think to yourself and ask your body, like, how does your body feel? How do you feel? How are you mentally? So those were the things that I started having to do, and asking myself, like, hey, are you surviving or are you safe? And that has truly changed my life. And I will honestly, I have an alarm set on my phone, and it's set like 3 times a day while I'm at work, to just kind of give myself a minute. And people underuse that. People underestimate the power of allowing yourself to feel, like allowing yourself to figure out what's going on. People underestimate that. And I think that that's something that's super important. So what I would say to you is, I would tell you to just set an alarm on your clock and set it for 3 times a day. And when it actually goes off, I want you to stop. I want you to breathe, and I want you to ask your body, like, hey, what am I feeling? You know, that's whatever you're feeling. That's the nervous system kind of like helping regulate things. Second one I do is saying no without explanation. And you guys, y'all don't know, that took me a long time to do. I would constantly over-explain myself to family, to friends. I would over-explain myself to everybody. And so this took me years to get out of. And I'm finally to the point where if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. And I think that that's important. I think that we should empower the word no more and more and more, because we honestly, we don't. We feel like we have to say yes to everything and be everything for everyone. But the problem is that while we're doing that, we forget to be what we need to be for ourselves. And that will run you into the ground so quick. And it's truly not worth it, to be honest. And I did a video, so I want you to check out that video. I'll link it up here. I did a video about the power of no, and so I want you to check it out. I think it's a great video, and I'm basically talking about how you can say no without explaining. And again, I think that we underestimate and we underuse the word no in our society. And I think that we've become a society that people feel like if you're saying no, that you're being rude or that you're being selfish. And that is not the case. And in fact, I want you to just say no to something that it might be small, but I want you to take the time to actually say no to something that you really want to say no to, but that you might have been saying yes to for one reason or the other. But I want you to do this today. If you can, do this today. If somebody wants you to do something, I want you to say no, especially if you don't want to do it. Now, it's one thing if you want to do it. If you want to do it, then, that's on you. But if you don't want to do it, say no. And you're going to get one or two reactions from them. They're going to be upset because you've created, not them, but you've created this expectation that you're always going to say yes. So they're going to be disappointed in you because you finally stood up for yourself and said, no to something for a change. Or they're going to be proud of you for finally having a boundary and sticking to it. It's only going to go one or two ways. But either which way, it's not about them, it's about you. And it's about what's best for you. So use the word no more. So the third habit is weekly self-attunements. Is that a word? Either way, every single Sunday, I check in with myself just like I would check in with somebody that I love. And, I would ask myself, what did I need this week that I didn't get? I would ask myself, where did I abandon myself to keep the peace or to get things done? I would ask myself, what would feel nourishing next week? And this became like my daily reset. And I think that is important for people to utilize their days to reset. And, the thing about it is that I use voice notes, I use journaling, I use whatever I can use in order to get it done. But the biggest thing is that making sure that you actually check in with yourself. And again, I do this every single Sunday, and I would employ you to do the same. I would tell you to do the exact same. And this fourth habit, this one's for my overachievers, for my caretakers, and for my perfectionists. And I realized that I was high functioning fawn. That's what I was. And I realized that I was performing competence as a trauma response. That's basically what I was doing. I was always helping. I was always fixing. I was always giving. I was always doing these over and over and over again. So I wouldn't feel like I would be rejected or I wouldn't feel abandoned. And this habit looked like deliberately not rescuing people. I had to deliberately not try to fix people. I had to pause before jumping in to solve a problem. And that was big for me because I labeled myself as a problem solver. But while I was solving everybody else's problems, I was letting mine pile up. So how can I solve somebody else's problems if I'm not dealing with my own, right? And the other thing I did was let people be uncomfortable with my boundaries. My boundaries are my boundaries. If you're uncomfortable by my boundaries, then that's work that you need to do, not me. And unlearning these have changed my relationships, not just my relationship with myself, but my relationship with the people around me. And it's brought me back to myself. So that's a huge one. And this fifth one, it took me a little while, but I started celebrating myself without conditions. Because in my 20s and my 30s, I would only celebrate after burnout, after being overworked, after, proving something. I felt like I had to prove something or I had to reach a milestone in order to celebrate myself. And this habit reminded me that joy, it doesn't have to be earned. It can just be at your baseline. That's it. And every night, what I started doing was just naming something that I was proud of. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been anything that I was proud of, because I feel like we spend so much time being proud of someone else's accomplishments or, feeling like we have to accomplish a milestone or we have to do something in order to reward ourselves. And that's not true. And here's the thing. Those are my 5 habits. And I mean, look, these things honestly transformed me when I was in my 30s. And it took me all through my 30s and maybe the first part of my 40s to finally figure it out. And none of them were flashy. But all of them were like foundational pieces. And I talk about these things because I want you to start early rather than having to get to the point where, you feel like things are falling apart around you and, you start having all these thoughts and just feeling a certain way. Like, I don't want that for anybody. So that's why I wanted to do this video, and that's why I wanted to talk. And again, this was one of these days that I just did not feel like recording, but I did it anyway. And I'm glad that I did it. Now at the end of the video, I'm obviously glad that I did it. But yeah, I want you to let me know in the comments, like, what are some habits that you're working on or that you're working towards that has made you a better person? Which one of my habits spoke to you the most? And which one of these habits that you've started is changing your life? Let me know in the comments. And again, I appreciate all my subscribers. I love you guys so much. My name is Naisha Nicole. Peace.